Welcome to EoZTV. I'm Elder,
Mrs. Elder.
and today we're going to talk about what everybody's been talking about all week, which are the fires in Israel.
I know, isn't that crazy?
It's really is crazy. So we're going to talk about what we know right now, a little bit of the history. There are some interesting videos that are out there showing the fires. So we're just going to go through it quickly and see where we're at right now, because everybody's been reading about it. Everybody's been talking about the fires all week.
Yeah, it's just such a sad thing.
Yeah. Here's a here's one video of actual during the fires, from last Wednesday, I believe. Just showing, you can see just all over the place. And I'm not going to show everything from everything, but it was very bad. And then the amount of damage that came from this, I should turn this down. The amount of damage from these fires was just about as much as the fires that were in 2010, the deadly fires. About 40 people were killed. But in 2010, there were fires in Har Carmel. So the damage was just about the amount of time, although it was much over a much larger area. In other words, many more places had the fires. Over there, it was all concentrated in one place.
You know what's really sad about this whole thing? I remember as a child, I actually planted trees in Israel. And I just can't get over how many trees were burned. Unbelievable.
Yeah, no, that's these are all forests that were not all of them, but mostly are forests that that we've that Jews throughout the world have been involved with. Let me just stop this one. There's also some videos, some very impressive videos that people have taken in Israel of drones. They take their drone coverage and they can show you all of the areas that were burned. So you can see it over here. And including how close, or sometimes the houses themselves were damaged. But
yeah, it's horrifying.
Yeah.
And the fact is that they're jumping up and down with joy, and it's just really sad that they relish in hurting people.
Yeah, there were lots of, and I don't have that much today about that, but there were lots of tweets that from the Arab world that were showing how happy they were. That Israel is burning was the hashtag they used in Arabic as well as in English.
I know, that's just so incredibly repulsive. It's disgusting.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. This is one video, and I got a few of these. You can see that the people have made some videos. You can see back there in the background.
I know, it's just mind-blowing. Look at that.
All of that was all burnt up. I'll just fast forward a little and see. Here, yeah, you can see from the top some of the damage over there.
Yeah, I heard that I believe the number was 40 homes were lost.
I think it might have been more than that. It was there were quite a few. I mean, there was all over the place, but I think it was more than that. Over Shabbos, there was one settlement had, I think, 11 homes were damaged, and that one was almost certainly set as arson. Here's another video from a different angle of mostly around Haifa, but they were really all over the place. And again, the question is how many. The real question is how many of these were set on purpose.
Probably all of them.
Well,
I can't even believe it's even a question.
Well, it wasn't all of them. This is the season that there are a lot of fires.
No, give me a break.
No, the weather was. You can't say that. It was according to, and here you can see in the Times of Israel, they think about 1/3 of the 90 fires that they counted. Although I've heard it was many more than that. But as of today, or as of Sunday, they said about 1/3 of them were caused by arson, according to the police. And they did not see, as of the moment, they don't see any evidence that it was centrally managed. In other words, that people just decided after the original fires, hey, the first.
Hey, let's go set
were,
some fires.
Right
yeah.
after they were because the first fire wasn't set. But after the big fires came up, they say, hey, let's do it ourselves. Haaretz had slightly different numbers. They said 30 people have been arrested so far for the fires. That again, that's not less than half. Over here it says, here's Chalamish. 15 buildings were destroyed just in that one community. So I believe it was far more buildings that were destroyed.
Right, but I was going to say property damage, people's homes. It's just unreal.
Yeah.
And again, just like 9/11, they're jumping up and down for joy, and it's just disgusting. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, they were, and there was sorry, I didn't cue that up. But there were plenty of, as I said, Twitter posts. A lot of celebrities, a lot of Arab celebrities, were extremely happy. They publicly, people with millions of followers, were publicly tweeting about how happy they were that Israel was burning.
It's so sad because I got to tell you something. Hi, let's hurt somebody, let's kill somebody, and they're jumping up and down for it.
Yeah.
We got to put a stop to that.
Yeah. I was looking at the Wikipedia entry for the fires in 2010 in Har Carmel.
Yeah.
And right after those fires, the same thing happened. There were some arson attacks that came right afterwards. So again, the Arabs then, people don't remember this, but the exact same thing happened. After the big fire happened, the Arabs decided, hey, this is a great idea. Let's all start our own. And they did. And over here, they're like, here's one in the Jerusalem forest, December 4th, 2010, that burned around 2.5 dunums of land. But it was, and again, an Arab citizen of Israel and a Palestinian were arrested trying to start a different fire, and they escaped, and whatever. All of these things happened. And as I've mentioned, and I mentioned on the blog, this is not a new thing. There's here's an article that I saw from IDC Herzliya talking about how terrorists, not only in Israel, but he talked about Israel specifically, but he was talking about Al-Qaeda and everything like that, specifically say they want to start what they call a forest jihad, in which they say, hey, here's a very easy way for us to cause problems with Western countries.
I think we should do it back to them. I'm getting sick of this. I think it's time to go ahead and let's go to Ramallah.
It's in this case, I'm not sure if that's a good idea. The fact is, the Palestinian Authority this time did help fight the fires, as did Egypt and Jordan.
I know, and I saw the people, and I heard that, believe it or not, they flew up this humongous plane from Colorado.
Yes.
And they brought it in, but it was at Israel's expense.
It was at Israel's expense, yeah.
America did not help out in this particular case, thanks to Obama.
It's actually worse than that, because the plane, for reasons that I'm not quite sure why, it was flying in the air just in circles out in the Mediterranean doing nothing, and Israel has to pay for that. It was like, for most of the time, it didn't actually do anything. There was some criticism from Israeli firefighters saying they didn't really need that plane to begin with, and it was more a public relations stunt. So there's a lot of other politics going on over here. Beyond the...
yeah, because I'm sure Obama said, hold it over the ocean. Hold it over the ocean.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I was going to say to you that, believe me, people will get even.
Well, I don't know. But the fact is, Russia helped, Turkey helped, Cyprus helped, Greece helped, and Egypt.
No,
and
I
Jordan
saw that.
helped.
I saw that.
So it's interesting that there was no... I didn't see... I mean, there were some firefighters that came from the U.S., but I didn't see any coordinated... announcement from the U.S. government saying, "Oh, we're going to help."
Oh, of course they're not going to help. Give me a break.
They have in the past. This was strange.
Nah, no, because he's ousted, so he doesn't want to have anything to do with it, and he knows who did it.
The other thing that's interesting is that, and again, forgetting just forest fires, but fire itself has been a weapon. The New York Times, Dia Hadid was making it sound like this is a brand new thing. If Palestinians
of course they're going to say it's a brand new thing.
And it's nothing new. Over here, I'm just looking at the Shin Bet report, the Shabak report, just from October, and just in October, there were 121 Molotov cocktails, firebombs that Palestinians threw or set just in the Jerusalem area, and in September it was 77. So there's literally 3 firebombs a day against Israeli targets.
And they're thrilled when something's extremely successful like this. That's what's so sad about this whole thing.
But it's amazing that the New York Times is saying this is a new thing, and anybody can look up these statistics.
When has the New York Times ever been accurate about any news from Israel? Give me a break.
Right.
I mean, even Donald Trump hit the New York Times.
Yeah, I know. I found this story from the 30s. And here's some stories. This is from the Jewish press as well as from the Israeli press, or what was called the Palestinian press at the time, showing about how the Arabs were starting to set fires. And here this is April 29th, 1936 from JTA, is that they say they continued arson in the fields of the Valley of Israel, destroyed crops. Here from May 6th, they said the Arabs started to strike, but they did the same sort of thing. They said that. They're sheltering the people that were starting the fires. Here's a loss. They destroyed a lumberyard in Haifa. Haifa was a lot of the fires in 1936, which is interesting. This warehouse, a tannery, at the Palestine Fair, what was called the Palestine Fair, which was essentially like a regional, not like a World's Fair, but like a regional fair that was done. There were a number of those in the 20s and the 30s, and it's funny because people from Arab nations would come and visit these Jewish these fairgrounds. So there was something called the Palestine Fair or the Levant Fair, and it was every 2
Jewish,
years.
of course, even
Yeah, it
though
was
they
Jewish,
hijacked the
Yeah,
name,
right.
as
But
they
it was-
do everything else.
It was in Tel Aviv, and they found that Arabs tried to bomb that, or essentially set fire to that. They discovered bottles of phosphorus that were meant to be that they were trying. The Arabs had gone into the fairgrounds and tried to start a fire there. Here in May, you can see again fires in wheat fields and in here in Kfar Hasidim and all these other things that. And here again, so there were lots and lots of, and this is just 1936. It happened in the 20s, happened 30s, it happened in the 40s. It happened in the first Intifada, in the late 80s and early 90s. There were fires over there. So this is not a new thing. Now, how many of them are from arson this time? There were a significant number, but not all. Again, the weather was certainly not helping.
I honestly can't believe that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
It's,
there are real fires that happen, and
I don't disagree, but the fact of the matter is that they're thrilled to death to harm any Jew, and we've got to put a stop to them having the need and want to hurt Jews.
Well, that's a tall order.
Yeah, well, let's make it happen.
Okay. Anyway, that's our show. That's our roundup for this week. For now, I'm Elder.
I'm Mrs. Elder, and don't forget to go donate. We want to keep doing this. We'd love to hear from you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Take care.